might say
turn it
we
on.
would increase the size, but
Till it turns green.
it doesn't pop. I can't.
Is it green?
Sorry. Have any of y'all feared of your information ever being stolen? Yes, yes. Okay. Have any of y'all actually ever had your information stolen? Yes. Okay, we have a solution. My name is Kate Rainey. I am the CIO.
I'm Caitlin Jones, the CEO.
I'm Emma Dolat, the CFO.
I'm Bailey Took, the CMO, and Mira Safety Net.
So a problem we have come to is that 33% of Americans have experienced identity theft through scannable technology. So SafetyNet is a double-walled phone wallet that cuts off electric waves, protecting your privacy and preventing data theft. So we are using a material that acts as a Faraday cage. So when a signal hits the material, it disperses across the surface instead of getting through it.
Our minimal valuable product is our double wall feature, meaning that one of the problems that we've seen to run into is that the Faraday material can strip the magnetic part off of credit cards. So what we're doing to prevent that is adding a carbon fiber layer on top of the Faraday cage, which is basically protecting the credit card so it doesn't strip them. And what we see with our competitors a lot is that they use pouches and plastic material, so we wanted to go for a more durable and reliable material throughout the year, so we decided to go ahead and pick leather. And some of our features include in our prototype a keychain attachment, our money slip, money clip, and the essentials for a wallet, credit card holders, ID compartments, and this would represent our slip for the phone, and this would, as you can see, is our carbon fiber layer, but it would be dispersed throughout the slit in the phone.
So we have found 4 main direct competitors, which are Mission Darkness, Silent Pocket, Blackout, and Faraday Defense. And so they lean more towards making bigger bags, as in backpacks and duffel bags, while we're making smaller, like wallets. And our indirect competitor is Select Fabricators, and they make larger tent-based structures and not bags. And so what differentiates us from all of them is that we use Faraday cage and carbon fiber while they only use Faraday cage. So we did interviews, and we interviewed both men and women of all different ages, but the majority of our responses we got back were from people who are in high school and older. And so we found that 78% worry about their information being stolen, and 34% has actually gotten their electronic information stolen before. So the top 3 types of data that they have gotten stolen are credit card numbers, debit card numbers, and different kinds of accounts and passwords.
SafetyNet's total addressable market is the number of Americans who've gotten their credit card stolen each year, which is 9 million people. Then our average unit price for our wallets would be $100, and our total addressable market revenue would be $900 million. Next, we have our serviceable addressable market, which, as I mentioned before, the total number of buyers could be 9 million people. And we found that 36% of people use scannable technology and 50% of Americans still use wallets. This would make our units 1.7 million and our serviceable addressable market revenue $171 million.
So how we plan to market our product is we want to hold a pop-up booth at the Pearl. We haven't set a date yet, but what we're going to be doing there is getting the general population's evaluation on our prototype to see what features they do like and dislike. And we're on our Instagram and Facebook account, we're going to be holding 12 ads a month, adding to 48 in total for a year. And as a timeline to test our product, we're going to be supplying staff members, teachers, and students at the high school our prototype to see if it's functionable enough.
As you see on the screen above, these are the materials you would need in order to make our product. This would make our cost of goods sold come out to $30. Your MVP contribution of $500 will help us cost of the 4 prototypes production, the setup at the Pearl booth cost, and the marketing cost.
As I mentioned before, our total price of our wallet is $100. In the first year, we'll have 4 different prototypes, making our units sold 120 units. And in our second year, we're going to kill off 2 designs that aren't as favorable, making our units in the second year 600. And in the third year, we'll ramp up our production to 5,400 units. At this point, our growth rate will have doubled.
Your $500 contribution will provide more safety and security in the world and help Safety Net jumpstart our company. Thank you.
I just have a couple of questions, and I'll save some comments. But so are you trying to prevent theft from the magnetic strip of cards, or are you trying to do something to protect the phone?
It's kind of all in general. We're trying to create a wallet that once you put your credit cards, your phone, and ID in the wallet, it protects all of the stuff in the wallet from being able to get scanned electronically so they don't steal your information.
Okay, so in your MVP, I mean, I would think in your MVP, you'll have to set it up as you need to understand how theft does occur right now from electronic devices and from cards, and then you'll have to, test, can you achieve that sort of theft with those items outside, and then the same methodology with those items in, and then break it out between the phone and the card. I'm trying to, this is clearly there's somewhat of a crowded market in fabrics and products that protect against theft. You guys found it out there. You mentioned it in your direct and indirect competitors. So I'm just trying to a little bit better understand what you're actually trying to protect with the wallet, and I'll save some comments. Henry?
Yeah, so similar for me, it was a little, I had a hard time understanding how your product is really different from those existing products that are out there. Can you all talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so what I was trying to say is that a lot of the other competitors that we have, they use a Faraday cage, which can sometimes, like on the credit cards, it strips the magnetic part off of credit cards. So what we're doing is adding what we call a double wall feature, which is the carbon fiber layer on top of it, so it doesn't strip the cards.
So your product is one more layer of something to
Yes.
Still allow the protection, but not hurt the item that's in it. Okay. And do you know if any of these other competitors, why they haven't just added, they've already have a product, why aren't they just adding another layer in there? Do you know?
That's a good question.
Have you tested that to make sure it works?
We have a colleague of our mentors that has tested it personally. He's a security expert, and he's done a busting testing on the Faraday cage and has found out that he's the one that's personally done the testing.
And so, are we talking what's the size of the wallet?
Yeah,
Because I know personally, I like my nice wallet. I don't know that, you may think of a way that you could maybe make something smaller just to put your credit cards that might still fit. Because, I don't know that I would switch from my current wallet, to something that, I don't understand exactly how big or what it's going to look like, but you may think about that, the size, what it's going to look like to make it appealing for people as well.
The theft is coming from the card, right? That's not the phone.
Well, I think
That's a whole other animal. I'm just trying to better understand what piece of somebody's identity are you trying to protect?
Yeah.
Because when you look at data that's stored and able to be extracted through a variety of technological theft methods from a card versus gaining access to data from
a phone.
his phone, and those are two. I think you need to identify one or the other. I got to go after the simple stuff, right?
Yeah.
The cards.
Yeah, 'cause the phone-
You have a smaller piece of this double-walled thing that can go into a purse. It can go into a nicer design wallet that just lays.
That would be more beneficial because the phone, I'll be honest, I've been being in technology, people can access your phone in so many different ways. That's a big thing to tackle. But the credit card, I think, is a good point, right?
And then to take that a step further, you're asking people to make a trade-off between kind of fashion and utility and security. And so if you can redesign, as Ms. Bonar was saying, to have something that will fit with the choice that the consumer's already made around fashion and design and convenience for them, that's then you're meeting the security issue. Because I think you're going to end up in a position where people are going to have to make a trade-off between the way they want something to look and feel and the security. And I think so far, if you look at consumers around, they're making the choice of what's convenient for them and what's fashion and everything they want in that respect.
Some of
versus
it-
security.
And then
So-
work with maybe,
So I think,
longer term,
I think
like-
as you look at your MVP, you need to spend your time at phase one, making sure this really works with like real data around it and the actual product design. That's what you need to spend your time on.
Does this work not just on the magnetic readers, but on the chip as well? A lot of the cards are going to chip, seems like. Do we know? You ought to look at that.
I mean, yeah, we haven't looked into like both parts.
Yeah,
of
I
that,
think the magnetic,
but, I mean, we hope to make it able to where it will protect both.
sure. I think the magnetic strip is on its way out.
And the touch. You got a couple of questions. I had one, in your competitive analysis, there was no item cost comparison. So, trying to look at, okay, something that's $100 item versus, I have no idea in the competition. But back to the comment, the fashion-oriented comments, it would probably be interesting to understand where, as best as we can, where the thefts are occurring. If it's in typical, just walking around everywhere, or if it's in, let's say, large gathering event kind of things. And a purse versus a wallet, I know that, for instance, you can't go in the AT&T Center with a purse that's beyond some small size, and you can't go into football games today without a purse that's completely clear, and also of a small size. But maybe that if you were, applying that logic to, okay, I'm going out into a crowd where this is most likely to occur, okay, I'm gonna put my stuff in this bag.
I think you've got to find out how they're doing it, because on MVP night, you can have it. I mean, you can have, your prototype, but you're going to have to be able to prove how it works, right? How are people getting that information so that you can show that it actually is something that will actually work?
define the problem.
Yeah. But it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
Just one last thing. I mean, my credit card has been, one of my credit cards has been pirated twice in the last 3 months, and I've had to get new cards issued. So it is an issue. I think about those, like look at the back of Henry's phone. Something like that you don't want to have to do design. Choose a functional product that works and let it be embedded in the type of design that people want to live with. That, your nice wallet, a Louis Vuitton, whatever, and throw that thing in there.
This is my wallet. I
Yeah,
mean,
I got a Clinton Orms money clip, but if you gave me a little thing that I could put it in and I would put it in my money clip, I would do it. I don't want to, yeah. Mine's not as thick as that.
Even a slate per credit card, right?
Yeah.
We're going to get robbed in here. Good job.
get Clint on the,
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Oh, watch out.
Thank you. Great job.
Thank you, congrats, that was cool.
Great job.
Very cool.